Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Monique and today we are going to be doing a playful no chaturanga flow today. A chaturanga is basically just like a half push-up. We're just going to get rid of those because we don't need to play with any of those silly little yogi push-ups today. We're just going to have some fun, do some deep stretching and feel good. So if you want to join me, we're going to start on all fours. And we're going to start just by warming up the body. You can take any movement you like here. You can wiggle your body side to side, address anything that needs to be addressed. And when you're ready, we're going to start doing some cat-cows just to warm up the spine. Exhale, you can round the back, gazing towards your navel. Inhale, you can gaze up. Exhale, round. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine. When you're ready, we're going to send our right leg out to the right and we're going to send our hips back towards our back heel, getting a good stretch in that inner thigh here. When you're ready, you can come back up. We can switch legs, sending your leg out. Hips back. Feel that nice stretch. Come back up. Let's do it again on this side. On the right, sending our hips back. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, the other leg. Inhale, we rise. When you're ready, you can curl your toes under. And you can sit back onto your heels. You can walk your hands back. And here we're just going to get a really good stretch in the soles of our feet. You can move around. You can roll your ankles out away from the body, getting a good stretch in your pinky toes. You can roll your feet inward, getting a good stretch in your thumb toes. Wherever you move your feet, it's going to feel good and different. If this is too intense, at any point you can put your hands on the ground. We've done more intense things in our lives. We can handle this. And it feels oh so good when we release. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, release your feet down onto the mat. You can take your fists to your feet and you can massage them out. And when you're ready, we're going to enter a downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet for a moment if you like, getting a good stretch in the back of the hamstrings, your hips, your glutes, your heels, your Achilles tendon right behind your heels. When you're ready, you can walk your feet to the top of the mat. And we're just going to fold here. Enjoying this gentle little stretch, relaxing the neck and the head. You can sway from side to side. Maybe stillness feels good. Anything for you here. This is your time. Your feet can be touching or they can be hip width distance apart. And you can continue to play with the legs. Have fun here. And when you're ready, you can place your hands down on the mat. It's okay if your knees are really bent. And we're going to send our feet back to a downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, step all the way to the top of the mat with your right foot, dropping your back heel. Rise up, warrior one. Exhale, you're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. You're going to pull your hands away from your hips, opening up your chest. On an exhale, we're going to fold down. Trying to bring the hands over the head, keeping our back leg strong, our front knee bent. Inhale, sweep the hands up, we rise up. Straighten the front leg. Exhale, fold over that front leg for a pyramid pose, getting a really good stretch in that hamstring. When you're ready, placing your hands down on the mat, we can send our right foot back. Inhale your left leg to the sky. Exhale, bend your leg. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, step all the way to the top of the mat with your left foot. Dropping your back heel, rise up for warrior one. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Pulling your hands away from your hips, we fold over. Trying to bring our hands over our head as much as we can. I'm definitely not there, but it feels like I am. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the hands up. Straighten the front leg. Exhale, fold over that front leg for pyramid pose. We're just here for a moment, getting that really good stretch in the back of that hamstring and that front leg. When you're ready, you can place your hands down, send your foot back to a down dog. At any point, if we enter a down dog, feel totally free to take a child's pose instead. It's whatever feels good for you here today. We're in this together, but this is your practice. When you're ready, you're going to inhale your right foot all the way to the top of the mat, dropping your back heel, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open up to the left side of the mat for warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, reach as far forward as you'd like, and then hinge, grabbing either your shin, your ankle, your big toe, maybe the ground. Inhale. Exhale, your left hand down to the mat. We're going to square our feet a little bit, so we're going to bring our back left foot a little bit more to the left of the mat, pointing our toe a little bit more, but it's still at an angle. Dropping our left hand down to the mat, pressing it into the mat firmly, squaring the hips, sending your right hand up towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale your right elbow to the top of your right thigh, sending your left arm overhead so there's a straight line of energy from your left foot all the way up to your left fingertips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, both hands down to the mat, coming onto the ball of the back foot. Keeping that front knee bent, we're going to rise up for crescent lunge. Exhale, we're going to drop the back knee, bringing our hands to prayer. And then we're going to bring our left elbow to the outside of our right thigh and take a gentle twist here, looking over our right shoulder. If you'd like to make this more challenging, you can engage your back leg, lifting the knee off the ground, keeping that back leg strong. Exhale your hands down to the mat, send your foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot to the top of the mat, drop your back heel, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open up to the right side of the mat for warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, reach as far forward as you can, and then we hinge, grabbing our shin, our ankle, our big toe or the ground. Anything that feels good for you. Inhale. Exhale your right hand down to the mat. We're going to adjust our back foot again, bringing our right foot towards the right side of the mat, pointing it just a little bit more to the front, still at a solid angle though. We're going to place our right hand on the ground, square our hips, send our left hand to the sky, revolving our triangle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale your left elbow to the top of your left thigh, sending your right hand overhead, straight line of energy from your right foot all the way up to your right fingertips. Inhale. exhale. Inhale. Exhale, both hands down to the mat, coming onto the ball of the back foot, keeping that front knee bent still. We rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, drop the back knee, bring your hands to prayer. Bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. If you'd like, you can engage that back leg, lifting the knee off the ground. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. Send your leg back. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, you can walk your feet to the top of the mat and just fold for a moment. Inhale, place your hands on your shins, straighten your back, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms come overhead. Exhale, hands by your side, Samasthiti. Inhale, we're going to step wide with our right foot, taking our arms to a T. Exhale your hands to your waist and we hinge forward. Placing your hands down on the mat, we're going to walk our hands back so our wrists are in line with our heels, and we're going to push into the palms of our hands, sending our head closer and closer to the ground. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, going a little bit deeper with each exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, maybe we bring our elbows or our forearms down to the ground if that's accessible to us. Maybe our head makes it down to the ground and we have a little bit of playtime. If you can enter headstand safely without jumping, you can take it now. And then safely come back to the ground. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands to the long side of the mat. So your fingertips are touching the long side of the mat. Now we're gonna walk our feet. So our toes are touching the long side of the mat. Now we're gonna walk our hands back. And we're gonna use our arms as a lever to lower us down to the mat. The first time you do that, it can be kind of strange, but you'll get used to it. You can play with it later. It's a really fun one. So now we're in this wide leg straddle, and we're just gonna take some movement here. Any movement that feels good. You can take big circles. You can just go from side to side. You can make it dancey and flowy if you like. I always love to make it a little more dancey. Just opening up the hips, our side body, stretching our hamstrings. And when you're ready, we're gonna fold forward into a pancake position. You can have your hands forward as far as they can go. If you can drop your elbows down towards the mat and just enjoy this nice stretch here. And don't be afraid to move around a little bit. Address anything that needs to be addressed. If you feel a little uncomfortable, like you want to rock your sit bones out from underneath you, go for it. If you want to point your toes or flex your toes, different things feel different and good for different people. What's the saying? Different strokes for different folks? I don't know what that means. I feel like that's right. I hope it's not inappropriate. When you're ready, we're gonna fold over to the right, getting a good stretch in the back of our hamstring. You can send your left arm up towards the sky and over, trying to look underneath that left arm, opening up our chest a little bit if we can, getting a really good side body stretch. And then we can switch sides, just folding over at first, grabbing our foot. showing it some love. Maybe we lift our right arm towards the sky, over our head, and we try and look underneath that arm, getting a really good side body stretch. When you're ready, you can come back to center again. Just enjoying this gentle little stretch here, this pancake. I guess it's not all that gentle, but it's beneficial for sure. This one used to be really hard for me, but I've been giving it a lot of attention recently, trying to get more comfortable in this space. And I find breathing is the key to that. Remembering to breathe in these uncomfortable positions that we may enter today, knowing that you're safe. Inhale, you can rise up. And then in your own way, you can meet in a tabletop position. You can take a couple little gentle cat-cows here if you like, but we're just gonna do a gentle twist. So when you're ready, send your right hand towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, sending your right arm underneath your left. Pressing into the mat with your left hand for a really nice twist. This is one of my favorite poses. When you're ready, you can inhale your right arm towards the sky. Exhale your hand down to a tabletop position. Inhale your left arm towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle underneath your arm, looking underneath your right arm here, pressing into the mat with your right arm, going even further into this twist. Inhale your left arm towards the sky. Exhale, place your hands down onto the mat. And then we're going to come down, laying onto our stomach, getting there in any way that feels good to you. Then we're going to cactus the arms. You can look over to the right side for a moment, giving yourself a gentle neck stretch. Then maybe you look over to the left. And when you're ready, continuing to look over to the left, we're going to take our left leg and we're going to send it over our right leg, getting a really good twist in our back. Also feeling a good stretch in our right shoulder. Really enjoying this one here. Exhale your hip down towards the ground, and we're going to do the other side. Gazing over the right, we're going to send the right leg over the left. Getting a good stretch in our back and our hips, the front of our shoulders, maybe our triceps. Exhale your hip down to the ground. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Send it back for a child's pose just for a moment. Getting a good stretch in your back. You can walk your hands far forward, almost like you're grabbing the ground, using the friction of the ground to pull your shoulder blades, to elongate the spine. Inhale, come to a tabletop position and make your way to a seat. We're going to send our left leg out in front of us. We're going to bend our right, bringing our right foot to meet our left inner thigh. We're just going to fold over this leg anywhere that you are. If you can't quite reach your foot, it's okay to have a bent leg and then straighten it as much as you can, and you're still going to get a really good stretch here. But make sure you're grabbing your feet. Having compassion for yourself and meeting yourself where you are today. Here we can show some love for our feet too. You can give your foot a good massage. Our feet hold so much tension. It's good to help release that. When you're ready, you can switch legs, bringing your right leg out in front, bending your left so that your left foot meets your right inner thigh. Folding over your right leg, meeting yourself where you are, grabbing your foot, maybe giving yourself a nice little massage here. When you're ready, you can send both legs out in front of you, and we're gonna bend our knees a fair amount, enough that you can grab your big toes comfortably, point your toes, and get a stretch here. We're practicing a bent leg forward fold. Very valuable. Here we're working on this compression between our stomach and our thighs. This is how it should feel when your legs are totally straight, whether you're standing or sitting. This is what we're aiming towards in the long term. Definitely doesn't happen overnight. But right now you're getting the feel for it, what you want it to feel like later. With your peace fingers grabbing your big toes, how about we try straightening our legs just a little bit more? My knees are still bent. Hamstrings are still off the ground, but I'm starting to feel this stretch a little bit more. Maybe it feels a little bit more intense if I point my toes versus flexing my toes. See if you notice a difference here. When you're ready, you can send your legs as straight as you can, trying to maintain that connection between your stomach and your thighs. We're just going to sit here for a moment, enjoying this hamstring stretch. Inhale, we halfway lift, straightening our back. Exhale, you can release your toes. You can bring your knees in towards you, coming to a tabletop position again. Here we're going to bring our right leg out in between our hands, and we're going to take a deep bend in that front knee, but we want our shin to be, is it parallel, horizontal, vertical? I don't know, going straight up. Getting a really good stretch in our back hip. And then we're going to straighten that front leg. Don't sit on your back heel, just sending your hips back towards your back heel. Continuing to point your toe, getting a really good stretch in the back of your hamstring. Lots of hamstring stretches today. You can alternate between pointing and flexing your toes for a moment. And the next time you point your toe, bend your front knee, getting a stretch in your back hip. Then we're going to straighten our front leg again. You can alternate between pointing and flexing. Bend your front knee again. Straighten your front leg. And we're going to come down into a split as far as you can go. If splits are really easy for you and you could just like passively sit in a split, I encourage you to engage just a little bit more here today. Bringing your hips off the ground, lifting your front kneecap, engaging your thighs. Seeing how that feels, building a little bit of strength here rather than sitting passively. When you're ready, you can roll onto your right hip, bending your right leg, coming back to a tabletop position. When you're ready, send your left foot in between your hands, bending your front leg so your shin is going straight up. Getting a really good stretch in that back hip. Then we're going to straighten the front leg, alternating between pointing and flexing. Sorry if you can hear that, that's my dog readjusting his position on the sofa. So cute. When you're ready, the next time you point your toe, we're going to bend our front leg, continuing to get that stretch in the back hip. Straighten the front leg, you can point and flex a couple times. And then we're going to bend that front leg again. Then we're going to straighten, and we're going to come down as far as we can into a split. And same thing on this side as the other. If you can passively sit, I'd rather you engage in that front thigh a little bit more. Maybe look behind you, make sure your back leg is going out straight. Staying engaged. I know it's intense, but we're in this together. When you're ready, you can roll onto your left hip, bending your knee and coming to a seat. Now we're going to have some playtime, just a little bit. We're going to practice something new. You're going to take your leg and you're going to bring your right foot to your left elbow pit and then your right knee to your right elbow pit. You're going to interlace your fingers if you can, and you can take some movement here, opening up the hip, getting a good stretch here. Bringing your shin close to your chest, almost like you're doing a pigeon pose, but we're seated. When you're ready, you can send your leg behind your arm. So your arm goes through, your leg is in between your calf and your thigh. And we're just going to continue to move here. Opening up the hip. And you can take any movement that feels good here. You don't have to just rock side to side, even though that's what I like. You're going to take your peace fingers, your right peace fingers, and grab your right big toe. And we can practice straightening that leg. Maybe bending it in close. Maybe straightening the leg. Bringing it in close. It's playtime. And then when you're ready, we're going to try and send that thigh behind our shoulder. So it's almost like your calf is sitting on top of your shoulder, if you can get it there. Then grabbing your big toe with your left peace fingers, you can try and straighten that leg as much as you can. Entering this funky little pose, sundial pose, I think it's called. I always think it's really fun. And then we can try just something a little bit different here. Maybe just one arm balance, keeping your leg, let me take my sweater off so I have a little bit more friction. But we're going to send our thigh behind our shoulder. We're going to bring our foot up so our feet cross. And maybe, just maybe, we can lift up into an 8-angle pose. You can play with that for a moment. And when you're ready, we can switch sides. Oh, Boomy's making an appearance. Hi, Booby. Hello. When you're ready, we're going to do the same thing on the left side. We're going to bring our left foot to meet our right elbow pit. Boomy's giving me a lot of assistance here. Thank you, Yogi Boomy. Interlacing the fingers, you can rock side to side. Anything that feels good. You can bring your shin closer to your chest. Hi. Hi, buddy. And when you're ready, maybe we send our thigh behind our left arm. So our arm goes through our leg in between our calf and our thigh. And we just move around here just a little bit. Then if you like, you can grab your left big toe with your left peace fingers. Alternate between straightening and bending. Having some fun here. And when you're ready, you can try and send your left thigh behind the shoulder, grabbing your big toe, your left big toe with your right peace fingers, trying to straighten that leg if we can for sundial pose. Play around there for a moment. And when you're ready, maybe we try 8-angle pose on this side too. Interlocking the feet. This side I have a harder time with than the other. Placing our hands down on the mat. Maybe we're able to rise up. Oh, that definitely wasn't as easy or as pretty as the right side, but it's how it goes sometimes. You can play with that for a moment if you like. And when you're ready, you can meet me. And we're just gonna take a gentle back bend here, placing our hands on our lower back. You can curl your toes under if you like. Just taking a really soft back bend. If you'd like this to be a little bit more intense, you can bring your hands down to your heels and you can take a camel pose. When you're ready, you can inhale, coming on up. And exhale, you can come down to a child's pose. When you're ready, you can come to a seat. And you're going to send your legs straight into the air, supporting your lower back here. Entering our closing sequence. Exhale your toes down to the ground. Excuse me. You can interlace the fingers behind the back. Exhale, you can bend the knees for ear pressure pose, supporting your lower back if you like, or your arms can be flat on the ground. Inhale your legs straight up to the sky. Exhale one vertebrae at a time down onto the mat. Here, if you like, you can take your final gentle headstand, or you can enter a child's pose. But if you'd like to enter a headstand, you can grab your elbows, placing them down, placing your hands on top of each other. I never interlace the fingers just in case I fall. It really hurts to roll over interlaced fingers, so I just place my hands on top of each other like this, supporting the head. You can walk your feet in as close as you can to your body, bending the knees. Maybe you straighten them. Exhale, bend your knees. And when you're ready, you can straighten your legs, placing them down onto the mat, bending your knees, bringing your hands by your sides, grabbing your feet, grabbing your heels, coming into a rabbit position, lifting your hips off of your heels. The crown of your head is planted firmly onto the mat. Exhale, release to a child's pose. Pretending you have a marble in between your forehead and your nose, we're going to try and push that marble forward towards the front of the mat, coming up to a seat. That's just to protect your neck, to show it some love after headstands. And if you like, you can take a seat with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. This practice means so much to me, but it means even more when I can share it with others, so thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the land that we live on, that I love so much. I live in Boulder, Colorado, which means I live on Indigenous Arapaho land. I'd like to acknowledge the lost history and wisdom and rewritten history and wisdom of the Indigenous people that were here before me, and I hope I can honor this land in a way that honors them. I'd also love to end class with gratitude and appreciation for you, for your beautiful body, your beautiful heart, and your radiant spirit. Inhale your hands to third eye center. Exhale, we bow. Thank you.